How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It helps out, means a ton. We're almost to 100, so you go down, make sure to hit that. That'd mean a lot. But anyway, getting back to the Curse Technique Explained series on this channel, kind of need to get this done sooner or later. We have the very last of our inherited techniques today, and that, of course, as you already know, is blood manipulation, the inherited technique that belongs to the Kamo family, and also one other person that's not part of the Kamo family, but we can directly trace Choso and how he acquired the curse technique of blood manipulation directly back to the Kamo family. So, first person who introduced blood manipulation to us was Noratoshikamo, the current day Noratoshikamo, because he is not the only one in the Kamo family who has been given that name. Previously in the family, there was another sorcerer who went by the name Noratoshikamo, and he was known as the most evil sorcerer to ever live. We also know that Kenjaku eventually took over Noratoshikamo's body, used his body and whatever techniques and all this weird, wacky stuff to create the Cursed Womb Death Painting. A member of the Kamo family, being, well, taken over by Kenjaku, gave blood manipulation to Choso. So it did still come technically from the Kamo family, even though Choso is not part of the Kamo family. But Choso's also, like I said, a Cursed Womb Death Painting. He's not like a regular person, so inherited techniques, the lines get a little blurry here, okay? Anyway, moving on to what the technique actually does, it's pretty simple, it's in the name, it allows you to manipulate your blood. But just by the namesake of blood manipulation, you might be misled in thinking it's a little bit simpler than it actually is, because somebody who uses blood manipulation can manipulate their blood in every single aspect. This includes the composition of their blood, the amount of plasma in it, the amount of red blood cells, the shape, the density, all this stuff. It's not just, oh, I can make it move and take a shape. Like, no, you can really manipulate it in a lot of different ways. You can manipulate the blood inside of your body, or if you were cut and it bleeds out, you can still use your blood after it has left your body. It just has to have come from your body. Your DNA has to be present inside of that blood. If you cut somebody else open and their blood spills out and your blood and their blood mixes on the ground, you can just pull your blood right out of there, and whatever's left is just their blood. Now, obviously, you have to be careful with this when you are a normal person. Choso does not have to deal with the same drawback because he's not a human. He can just keep sending more and more blood out. I mean, this Choso has massive reserves of blood. This guy's like a Bleach character. He's got a lot of blood in his body. But for most people, like Noratoshikamo, which we have seen him do this, they will carry blood packets and throw a whole packet of their blood out that they took out in advance to then use. Because like I said, it can be out of your body. You can still use it as long as it is from your DNA. So something a little bit unique about blood manipulation compared to a lot of other curse techniques is the sheer amount of extension techniques. It has an absolute ton of extension techniques. Blood manipulation is just the base technique. Everything else they do pretty much has its own little name. So, starting off, we have a pretty popular one that's used quite often, Flowing Red Scale. Flowing Red Scale will increase the user's body temperature. It does this by increasing the pulse rate and the amount of red blood cells you have. So, if you know One Piece, think of it similar to Luffy's Gear 2nd, where he sends his blood throughout his body really fast. It's basically just blood doping. That's really all it is. An interesting thing though, however, with Flowing Red Scale is there's another technique called Flowing Red Scale Stack. And all this does is just upgrade Flowing Red Scale. You can also put the Flowing Red Scale Stack directed into your eyes to give you higher visual acuity. Crimson Binding is another one. It just sends your blood out and it forms into a net and then ensnares your target, not allowing them to move. Great. Slicing Exorcism. You throw out a bunch of blood and you make a bunch of little slicing lines with it and it cuts up anything in its path. Well, unless you're Gojo Satoru, then it just bounces off. But hey, that's everything. Convergence is a common extension technique used by blood manipulation users. All this does is compress your blood pretty much to its absolute limit, but not quite. We'll get to that. Piercing blood is used in combination with Convergence. You condense the blood with Convergence and then shoot it out like a bullet, piercing through your enemy. Supernova is another extension technique that is used in combination with Convergence. You compress the blood down into a bunch of little pellets and then shotgun it out. Blood Edge is a technique in which you strengthen the cutting power and piercing power of your blood by basically making it into a shape of a blade, but then you give it a chainsaw action where you rotate the blood extremely fast. If you know physics, you know when something is moving very fast speed like that, it's much easier to cut something. So, Blood Edge, spin the blood in a circle, makes it cut a lot better. I believe the final one we have, I think there's technically a couple other ones. I can't remember the name of Noratoshikamo's one where he made like the circle saw blade thing. Bloody Death Chakram. Doesn't matter. Blood Meteorite. Remember when I said Convergence compresses the blood to its absolute limit? Well, not quite. Blood Meteorite is that next level. Blood Meteorite is compressing blood to its absolute maximum, turning it into a little rock, little meteorite. And after that, you do the same thing you do with piercing blood. You shoot it at your target extremely fast, but considering how dense and how hard the blood meteorite is, it can be a lot more difficult to block. And with all of these being said, I think that really kind of covers it for blood manipulation. Honestly, the most complicated part of it is going through all the different extension techniques. Other than that, it's basically just like blood doping and shape-shifting your blood. And then external manipulation, spin it around to make it cut better, compress it to make it pierce better, all these kind of things. But at the end of the day, it is still just manipulating your blood. Blood manipulation. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.